Juan.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Hawk Tank Business Plan Competition, San Juan College Track. My name is Dr. Michael Valdez, and I have the honor of being the co-director of Hawk Tank. And this year, we're celebrating a decade of Hawk Tank. As we do with every important event on campus here at Fort Lewis College, we'd like to begin with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land that Fort Lewis College is situated upon is the ancestral land and territory of the Ute people who were forcibly removed by the United States government. We also acknowledge that this land is connected to the communal and ceremonial spaces of the Apache, Pueblos of New Mexico, Hopi, and Dene nations. It is important to acknowledge this setting because the narratives of the lands in this region have long been told from dominant perspectives without full recognition of the original land stewards who continue to inhabit and connect with this land. Thank you for your attention, respect, and acknowledging this important legacy. So, San Juan College Track. I want to say a couple thank yous before we begin. Number one, a big thank you to Four Corners Innovation for your sponsorship of this track. I also want to give a huge shout out to our judges who have given lots of their time and energy to prepare for today's events, as well as provide feedback to all participants. So Jim Magnuson, thank you so much. Dr. Paul Clay from Fort Lewis College, thank you so much. And Wes Bond, thank you so much from Zia Drones. And I'm really happy to say that Wes and his company Zia Drones are actually past winners of Hawk Tank, and their business is thriving. I just heard they got their first government contract, and we are just so happy to have Wes and Zia Drones joining us today. So, San Juan College will be competing for $5,000 for first place, $2,500 for second place, $1,000 for third place, as well as an additional $5,000 for and be crowned the grand prize winner for the 2025 Hawk Tank competition. So, thank you so much to everyone that's made this possible, and good luck, participants. Thank you.
Our first presenter is going to be Lars LLC.
Hey, how are you guys?
Yeah.
I did want to double check, do you have the updated business plan?
I have the most current business plan that is
Perfect.
uploaded to Canvas.
Awesome, thank you. Just wanted to make sure. Steal your clicker here. All right, so I'm presenting to you Lars LLC, which stands for Levitator Rescue and Recreation Services. We're an outdoor transport production company. Got a problem with the clicker, boss.
Is it on?
It is.
It's going to be the arrow.
That isn't working either. Click it then. Sweet. Is it working now, you think?
Absolutely.
Perfect, appreciate that. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all right.
All right, here's an overview of what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna go over the problem we're solving, our value proposition, our competition, our team, which is myself and Eric Westover, our customers, our marketing plan, the milestones we've already hit, our revenue, what we need to get going really, and our financial projections. The problem is the race against time. In Colorado, search and rescue teams respond to over 3,000 incidents every year. These are often life and death situations where every second counts. There's no room for unreliable gear. And the harsh reality is that modern gear just doesn't do the job. Rescue teams are forced to use outdated methods and equipment, such as manual carries, makeshift rope systems, and such. The problem, really, is a lack of adaptable, high-performance transport solutions, putting patients and rescuers at risk. What we do to solve that problem is, or our value proposition, is the Levitator changes everything. Why does the Levitator change everything? With its all-terrain, air-suspended mobility, real-world proven, already tested durability, La Plata County Search and Rescue has a current unit right now that they've been using for 20 years, still in service. And it's more than just rescue. We believe the Levitator is a high-performance utility tool that can work across many markets, with such as outdoor recreation and even construction and other industries. And for first responders, it's a life-saving upgrade that improves survival rates and reduces the risk of further injury. For outdoor professionals, it's an ultimate cargo carrying solution, eliminating the struggles of moving heavy loads in terrain where other products may fail. No other product combines the Levitator's adaptability, durability, and real-world performance. Our competition, and really the lack thereof. Companies like Cascade Rescue, Tactical Medical Solutions, and Skedco, and Rescue Essentials all make outdoor rescue equipment for search and rescue responders and EMS and things like that. The thing is that they really don't do what they really need, which is provide things like ultra-steady, shock-absorbing suspension, durability, and just like adaptability so it can work in snow, rocks, forest, wherever. They don't really build things, they build things essentially and down to the basics, but we're not really looking at the real safety functions, such as when you're carrying someone on one of these, you can further injure their spine if they have a broken back, and we've reduced that risk with the air suspension. We also, it's not single use, when you buy one of these, all it's good for is rescuing someone. But if you buy a Levitator, you can use it for just about carrying anything. Really, we're not looking to replace these companies. We're not competing with them, we're integrating with them. The goal of the Levitator is to bridge the gap of what teams have and what they need. Our team is built different. Between Eric Westover and I, we think we are giving Lars a solid foundation to be a successful business for the next 20 years at least. Eric Westover is the co-founder and inventor of the Levitator. Eric isn't just the inventor of the Levitator though, he lived the problem and then he solved it. In his early 20s, Eric served with La Plata County Search and Rescue, witnessing firsthand how conventional stretchers failed in rugged terrain. Frustrated with the existing tools he had, he created the Levitator. He built over 20 units by hand, many of which are still in active use today. Survivor and innovator, Eric Westover survived a traumatic brain injury that led to a 15-year recovery. And despite life-altering challenges, his will to improve tools never wavered. My name is Benjamin Self, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lars. Truly, I'm the engine behind Lars and its future, driving operations, product innovation, and market growth. A full-time electrical engineering student and a father of two, excuse me. I balance academics, family, and entrepreneurship with unwavering commitment. With a background in caregiving, I understand the human side of rescue and the importance of that person. And, my passion is rooted in service, and my execution is rooted in discipline. With vision-driven leadership, I'm not just building a business. So sorry, nerves are killing me. I'm scaling a mission to bring Eric's innovation to every rescue team that needs it. Lars isn't just a startup, it's a story of resilience. We're not here for a quick win. We're here to build a business or build tools that last and a business that scales with purpose. Our customers. Our primary markets and the main people we really want to cater to are search and rescue teams, first responders such as emergency medical services and fire departments, ski resorts and mountain operations, disaster relief and humanitarian aid, and military and defense organizations, just to really get the Levitator to the people who absolutely need it. Alternatively though, we think that we can expand readily into these 7 markets. Outdoor recreation, remote rescue stations, extreme sports, ATV and snowmobile owners. We think that there's a huge market for these in outdoor recreation altogether. Our marketing plan. At Lars, we're deploying several different marketing methods, all of which are centered on one point. If they see it, they'll buy it. This is why everything we do focuses on demonstration, proof, and proximity to the people who need the Levitator the most. Through product demonstration, we'll be attending events and trade shows to really just show search and rescue teams and fire departments how it works. And we actually will be attending next week the New Mexico Annual Search and Rescue Conference they were really excited to have us, and we're excited to be there. We'll also be starting, probably in the next month or so, we'll get a couple of social media things going, just really try to expand outside of the four corners and get it out there. And we're already building really strong partnerships locally and just across the four corners with search and rescue teams, fire departments, and have a really close tie with La Plata County Search and Rescue. This is just some tables to show an example of how we'll be marketing over social media and give you an idea of some trade shows we'll be attending. Not limited to these, of course, as we'll also be attending other events across the county and the state. And we want to really make sure to do weekly updates on all of our social media accounts so that we're really active in the community. Put some goals right down here, just of some marks we'd like to hit by the end of 2026 as far as how many leads we have, doing 300 demos that year, hopefully. Set a goal for 25% demo to sale ratio. And our big thing is service. You know, we don't want to forget, as much as we're a product company, we're here for service. And so we want to get feedback from every single one of our customers where we can. Because that's really what our job is to serve search and rescue teams. Our milestone progress, you know, this is just what we've done to be successful already. We've field tested and got product validation. La Plata County Search and Rescue has used our device for over 25 years and it's still fully functional today. We built strong local partnerships with La Plata County Search and Rescue and the Durango Fire Department and are already building close ties with New Mexico Search and Rescue teams. We've set a 20-year track record of durability. There's been no service needed on the Levitator. They've changed out very minor maintaining things, oil and things like that, but upon offering to do any major service to the current Levitator that La Plata County Search and Rescue has, they declined, said it works perfect. We've also developed a market pull for the ski attachment that we are currently prototyping. The head of La Plata County Search and Rescue said that the day we finish it, they would like to buy one right then. And we've upheld maintenance-free longevity. But we're not done. We're focused and we're ready to continue. We want to collect and synthesize feedback from every one of our current users. We want to complete the ski attachment prototype and test it with our search and rescue partners. And they want to expand into search and rescue agencies and partnerships across the Four Corners region and beyond. Just wanted to go over some of our total sales projections across the next 5 years. I have a table later on we could break down if you guys have questions about it. Main point is that by year 5, we'd like to pull $477,000 of revenue through our core product sales, which we expect to increase following year 2 as we finish fully developing any modern upgrades we'd like to make to the device. And then once we finish our ski attachment, we expect growth will be equivalent to the amount of Levitator cells we have in areas with snow-prone terrain. And we also plan to start renting out the 2 units we already have immediately. Just getting them into the hunters and outdoor recreation to make sure they have cargo carrying solutions. We think that it's a great device for hauling out a bear or a large elk. What we have is physical infrastructure. We're already ready to build. With production and storage already happening in a small assembly and storage space owned by Eric Westover, and a product inventory of 2 current Levitators and, equipment to make 2 more, with a value at over $20,000 already in our possession. We also have free access to the San Juan College Makerspace as long as I'm a student there, which will be at least the next 2 years, and we'll be able to prototype and use their equipment to make sure we get on the ground free of cost. What we need though is capital. We have a clear need and a clear plan. Looking for funding by the end of year 3, seeking $200,000 of investment or a business loan to expand in-house manufacturing capabilities, purchase production equipment and reduce outsourcing, as well as hire key personnel to make sure that we're operating at full scale. And I just highlighted that we already had existing equity. I know I mentioned that already, but this really sets a precedent that we're ready to be successful. Honestly, we don't need someone to implement money right now. We're ready to roll. But if we were to get this money sooner, all the better. I want to go over some financial projections. These are projections for years 1 through 5. We have a really lean start going out. I have some other tables we could break down into that, but we want to pay me and Eric minimally at first, just to make sure that the business is successful. Just pay us hourly to get us by, and have an out-of-pocket cost of about $4,000 this year. Increase production and sales in years 3 and 5, and we plan to make major capital investments in those same years so that we can reduce outsourcing. And we hope to make over $100,000 in operating income in year 5. I also made these these tables to highlight year 6 through 10, because really that's when we think we'll be successful. These first 5 years, we're really just getting our feet under us. We want to make sure that we're setting up Lars for a long-term future of prosperity. And one thing I wanted to highlight was just that hopefully by year 10, we'll be making $3.6 million in gross profit. Here's the bigger table of how we pulled those initial financial projections for year 1 through 5. You'll see up there is that $100,000 in operating income, as well as the years 3 through 5 capital investments right there. And really what I want you guys to take away from this is that we have the potential to grow from nearly nothing to a multi-million-dollar business as soon as 9 years. Given the proper time and funding, we can make major changes to our business model, enabling us to turn huge profits soon after. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to be here today, and that is what we got for you. Kind regards from our team at Lars. Questions?
Woo, woo! Well done.
Jitters were killing me a little bit, sorry
You did
about
good.
Great.
So, I mean, you've got your plan here, and I mean, there's probably some critical paths where some of these, either supply or, manufacturing capacity. I mean, how are you gonna, mitigate issues that could, impede your plan or delay your plan? I mean, do you have some fallback positions?
Absolutely. So really, that's why we took a really conservative stance. Let me go back to the table just so we can take a look at it. So I wanted to make sure that we weren't overestimating anything we were capable of. So on my current plan, we only have, or actually, let me pull up this other table. So we only planned this first year to sell a couple of any individual unit, which I think is well underneath our actual capability. I think that if everything is hell and high water, I think that this is what we can achieve. I think this is the backup plan. I think we actually are set to make much more successful moves than what we have written here. I don't know if that answered your question quite right.
Yep, I mean, right, yep, it did, thank you.
Sweet, awesome.
What's product turnaround? How long does it take you to build a unit if you got an order?
So our biggest issue is that we're outsourcing most of the manufacturing right now, and we're still trying to get an idea of how long it's gonna take us to get one manufactured. Once we have the pieces in-house, it'll take us 3 hours to rivet one of these together. That is, it's my hope that 30 days that we could get a contract going with the company to, as soon as we give them the parts. And ideally, we'd be making them before we have an order. That's my goal. That's why we really have that $4,000 of out-of-pocket expense, is that I'm gonna try to make one of these and more of them before we even have an order. I'm getting a little nervous as we go into the search and rescue conference next week. They might wanna buy some right then, and we'll have to mitigate how soon we can get those to them.
So your current sales price, you're asking $7,400 per unit?
Yes, I am.
And I apologize, I'm just thinking about the cost side of things.
Absolutely.
So you're outsourcing to a firm. Do you have an existing relationship with that manufacturer for those parts, or is that something you're still figuring out?
We're still working on that. We've done a lot of the numbers we pulled. First, I called around and tried to get an idea of some prices on things. Of course, when you're asking to build one part opposed to building 50 of them, it's a bit different. And we have a lot of receipts from when Eric had originally bought and invented the product. So I've been trying to, with inflation and increase in labor, we're trying to kind of mitigate that. I'd like to say that we made our price higher than it should be. I'm assuming it'll cost us around $3,600 to make a levitator. Let's see, yeah, I got this here. Right down here is the new levitator unit, which I think will cost about total $4,100 to make.
That's all the outsourced cost, plus your
Yes.
time to rivet it together?
Yes. Yeah. I think that I didn't add it in here because I think that after year 5 is when we're really gonna see the reduced cost of labor, because we'll be bringing it all back into house. But I think realistically, once we have all of the machining and stuff in house, we can make one for under $3,000.
Are you talking about all components sourced from the US? I'm just thinking
Yes.
about
Yes.
big picture national and
Absolutely.
international tariff things are going on that are ramping up production costs.
Absolutely, yeah. So right now, we're looking at a couple of places in New Mexico to source materials from and things like that. Got a big eye on Midwest steel. I think I listed that somewhere in the actual business plan. But yeah, I think that we have a really good basis, and I'd like to say that I overshot the cost. I think it should be a little cheaper than this, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, I have 1,001 questions, about everything, always. So you mentioned this track record of approximately 20 years from like initial
Yeah.
product until
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
I'm a little bit curious about like how the product has evolved over that window of time.
It really,
And like what's new at this point where you're launching this business as opposed to the 20 years of history of this product
Absolutely.
existing?
so really that gets into Eric's history as the inventor of it. So Eric produced these by himself. He was putting them together in his shop. This is actually the only one of this exact model. The other ones are all welded together, which was significantly more expensive to do. This one is riveted. So we don't have to pay a high-skilled laborer to weld them together. So which allows us to reduce cost, which is kind of hard to equate to 20 years ago because $2,000 isn't what it used to be. The thing is that in that 20 years, no levitators were made. No one has access to these. We've looked at the competitors too, and no one's made anything really remotely similar. The closest thing is one of these welded to a bicycle wheel.
Right.
And it's like there's no shocks, there's no nothing. And that's what's on the market right now. That's the innovation that's been made in 20 years, was a downgrade to a bicycle wheel.
Okay, so we had basically a prototype approximately 20 years ago and now ramping into production.
So he had started selling them. He sold 20 of the welded units. And then he made this prototype and then had a major like head injury that prevented him from continuing his business. We do plan to make upgrades though. That's the thing, we're all about innovation. We want to get feedback from everyone that has a levitator. As soon as we produce these ones, we want to get more feedback. We want to make upgrades. We have things in mind already too that we'd really like to start working on.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you.
You had said to kind of second that gentleman's question, you said you might have a demo of the old prototypes.
Yes. Yeah.
So we might be able to see what the changes from that one to this one looks like.
Yeah, it's a really blurry video that we have on
You'll
this
get an
one.
idea though.
All right, all the best videos are low quality. That's just how it works. Just maybe giving us an idea of where you came from to now.
Get some noise going here.
Are we looking at a welded version?
I believe so. Yep, that should be it. Thing we'll get into is that a major upgrade since this version is actually the hitch attachment tube. Before there was a really nasty pin you had to pull that was like hard to get in and out, so it was a like time-consuming thing to attach the levitator to and from an ATV.
And the brake you can do from either end.
Yep, yeah, we have the handbrake on each side that
Yep.
engages the disc brake on the wheel.
Any concerns about going from welded to rivets or anything?
No, it is just as high weight capacity, can handle just as much. The aluminum frame actually isn't what has the weight restriction on it, it's the shocks that we use. So if you wanted to haul something more than 300 pounds, you could just request it before you order one, and we'll throw a solid spring shock on there instead, which could then haul up to a ton, I'd say. We'd have to fully test that and get a real weight limit out of it, but I'd say it would have much higher weight capacity then. So yeah, that's one of the prototype skis. It wasn't finished. We're gonna be doing a lot of work to get one of those actually manufactured that's fully functional. That one had a balance issue. It'd tip over all the time, actually. So that's one thing that I think that's about the most of the video we really need from that.
No, you might want to
Yeah.
do the end.
Okay, is there something great?
Yeah, do the Florida stuff. Yeah, here it comes. And for the end of this, there's some in broken down building. So. Yeah, all the terrain.
What's your weight limit on it?
Right now, just because of the shock, it can hold 300 pounds. effectively, a little over that, but like that's the safety recommendation is 300 pounds. Like I said though, if you wanted to haul a bear on it, like if you're gonna be using it for big game or something, you just let us know before you order one. We'll put a different style of shock on it. It'll be less good for like, it's not gonna have like spine safety features, but if you're hauling a bear with it, you don't need that. And so we'll put a solid spring shock on it and it should be able to hold upwards of 1,000 pounds.
So you could have almost a safety mock-up and outdoors rec mock-up.
That's our goal. We want to build different versions for every, like, we're building a website right now, and we're allowing customization and free consultations to set up what you need.
Germans have figured out a way to
I like
increase
that,
water
so
pressure
someone
15
can
times
custom order
without
what they
using any
like.
energy.
So
Exactly.
say I wanted to have, I was watching them push and go up hills. If I wanted to add maybe an electric assist motor.
Absolutely. We're talking about putting a winch on it as well as like a motor that attaches to the wheel, but we're still working all those things out. We're trying to watch the weight too. We don't want to make it 500 pounds. That's kind of defeats the purpose. But if that's exactly what you want, if you get on that private free consultation and you say, I want you to add a motor to it and I want a winch and I want you to steel reinforce the center, then we'll do that. That'll be exactly what we do.
I was having the same thought about an EV, like a hub-centric motor.
Yeah,
Last 5 years, like EV tech has gone through the roof.
yeah.
And like hub-centric motors with like a battery pack that it doesn't have to be installed all the time, that could be
Yeah.
in certain situations.
I saw him going up that hill and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be the guy on the bottom that slips.
We've totally thought about that already. We're totally looking at anything we can do. Of course, we're making a big focus on search and rescue, and that's not what they need really, is that like in wheel and adding weight to it. Really just trying to keep it viable for search and rescue teams, but yeah, that's exactly right. We want to customize it so that it's perfect for everyone. And maybe there's something we're not doing at all, but hopefully our customers will know what they want, because they likely will, and we'll sell it to them.
Do you offer warranties of any sort?
I actually did want to offer a warranty. We're working out all the kinks on how exactly we can do that. But I think with the fact that we know that they last 20 plus years effectively, I think I'd be willing to offer a lifetime warranty on one of these. I think you'll die before the levitator does.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid piece of equipment. There are a couple of cool little things that aren't really in the thing. This is like we want to make the handle bigger on it, but this locks into place and is to hold like an IV bag.
Yeah, might be stuck.
Yeah, our handle's really small, so that's a first, like, immediate upgrade, is just weld a bigger handle on there. And then the hitch system I was talking about, so this is one thing that's super cool, because before they had to like mess with a pin, and I don't know if any of you guys work with hitches ever on your truck, but sometimes it can be a pain in the ass to take things on and off. And you don't have time for that out in the field, so this thing just clicks right on. Need to get it off right away. Clicks right off. Time's up. Sweet.
Yeah, well done, Benny. Hang on, I'll help you. Thanks for asking. Oh, yes. I think it helps
It does.
give you an idea what it does.
Now we can see it go up the stairs.
Yeah.
You didn't know this is the.
And I'm a cripple, so if I can do it,
Right.
anybody can.
Yeah, she has neck and spine problems, so.
And I have MS, so.
There we
I
go.
probably should have asked, what's your transportation wise? You just throw it on a little flatbed, what's the?
Yeah, we have it in a truck right now, like, that
Yeah.
we're taking it out with.
I've put it in trailers, and I've, hauled it, we had a box trailer for it.
Yeah. Going up the stairs right there, that's not a bad
That's pretty
demonstration
smooth.
right
Okay,
there.
yeah.
That's-
So it's pretty
It's not
like
bad.
easy for.
It's like any full-size pickup would haul it pretty easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it fits right in the back.
Gosh, that was a little nerve-wracking the first time. Yeah, gosh, my throat was getting all like.
I know.
Honest feedback.
Why don't you start here? That's I have one of those days. Where's the first one? If you follow this all the way down, take a right.
Well, actually, start now.
Or like 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late or something.
Sorry.
We're supposed to start at 55.
I think, yeah, I think we can
It's
come
okay,
in.
go.
Let me see with the levitator, let's get your jacket.
So whenever everyone's ready, you can start.
Again, I'll keep you guys posted on.
Do you want me to come back and get the
How's it going?
levitator, or can I take it now?
Good, thank you.
I'd like
You wanna
to keep
leave
it
it?
just in case we
So
make
he
it.
wants-
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just come back.
That's it.
Because now they're just doing the presentations, are you ready to go? Is that okay, or did you wanna stay? Do you wanna stay?
Are you staying here?
Do you wanna stay with them?
We're just gonna be watching other people's
Rocking
presentations
out,
for a
hard
few
on
hours.
Do you wanna do that? Then you can take that off then. Okay, I can come get him.
He's got one already, I'm not a judge.
So then, me and Jasmine are gonna leave to get lunch at some point too, actually.
Okay, well, just tell me when.
Okay.
And I'll come back.
Sweet.
I'll just go
Oh,
finish
I can
my
take one if you want, I'm just, no, just a participant.
Okay, cool. So you'll do that?
It's like, I'll take one.
Take a drink?
Feel free to take a seat.
Okay, well, just let me know and I'll sit back. Just give me like 20 minutes.
Sweet.
Yeah, did great.
All right, next we have the Best You Salon and Spa.
So, my name's Haley Tubbs. I came up with the Best You Salon and Spa because I recently started a health journey and I'm also a cosmetology student. So our mission statement would be, the Best You Salon and Spa aims to not only care about your outward health, but your inward health as well. We'll be offering beauty services like regular ones, such as highlighting and haircuts, all that stuff, but we also want to include natural health supplements in our salon. And when we give facials, we want it to be stuff that is safe to absorb into your skin, because everything you put on your skin is absorbed into your bloodstream. There's a rising number of people on GLP-1 medications such as Ozempic and Wegovy. People are losing weight and they're learning how to take care of themselves. A lot of these natural products that people are looking for, they either don't have time to make at home and they aren't available at most box stores like TJ Maxx and Ulta. People have always wanted to look good, now they want to feel good as well. The solution would be, of course, to have a salon that offers these products. They need to be available for you and they need to have a place that uses them so you can learn about these things. We want to offer natural fruit juices that we'll make ourselves in store. We'll sell them online and in the salon. Fruit juice is a fantastic source of good carbs, which is a good energy source. And it also provides vitamin C, which is important for skin health, and antioxidants, which boosts your immunity. What makes us different is there's no salon that does this. Most places use products that have harsh chemicals, and those things sink into your skin and your bloodstream, and it's not good for you. Providing beauty service is already a lucrative avenue, but by showing that we care about your inward health as well, it shows that we don't just love the business, love our jobs, but that we also love you. We love people. My team will be me to run business operations and to perform our hair services. My best friend Lily, she owns a at-home bakery and she also already is in the makes of our beef tallow skincare and many of our other formulations. Aspen, she's my tattoo artist. She does an amazing job. And right now she's getting certified to do permanent makeup and we would like to collaborate so she can do permanent makeup out of my salon. Tiana is an esthetician at my school. She will be doing my nail services and my esthetician services such as eyelash extensions. I would also like to hire 2 other team members who are full service cosmetologists to help along with the process. So I have more than one person doing hair. These charts show that with the rise of people on our GLP-1 medications, it also causes a rise in the cold pressed juice markets. Fruit juices and cleanses are a huge trend. They're really popular and they're very good for you. So people who care about their health want these things. And this is a chart showing the global organic skincare market. It is projected to increase through 2023 by $54 billion. I meant 2032, I'm sorry. And then around 24% of adults in 2021 reported using herbal medicines and herbal skincare as opposed to store-bought skincare. This is just a breakdown of the prices, average prices of beauty services to kind of show the money we can make easily. And then I kind of did a breakdown at the bottom of this page of our body scrubs and all of our natural products. I got these prices just by like coming up with formulations and how much all the products cost as well as the packaging. Some key milestones would be to graduate cosmetology school, of course. You have to graduate to be allowed to open a salon and to know what you're doing. I graduate December 6, 2025. I'll have to create an LLC, which I already kind of have for the natural body products because I did that as a side hustle for a while. I would need to save enough money for a business down payment, which of course this would help if I won. I would need to establish a $150,000 business loan. That's pretty standard to open a salon and to get all the products I need. I would establish a location either here or in Farmington. I would need to decide which formulations we like best. Like I said, they're already in the works, but we have multiple people testing them to see what works better on different skin and hair. And then we would have to execute. We would have to get our salon designed, things packaged, our inventory stocked, and start to promote our grand opening. Marketing. A lot of the marketing would have to be on social media, especially closer to the grand opening. In this day and age, TikTok is a huge thing for grand openings. And I notice especially in Durango, people are really into the natural stuff. So I'm hoping that making a TikTok, a Facebook, and an Instagram page would help a lot. Word of mouth. So as a cosmetology student, every day we work on clients already. So if you create a good relationship with these clients, they'll have good things to say about us and they'll have good things to say way before the actual opening of our salon. We have to create a loyal clientele. And then flyers and promotions. Before the opening, I plan to make flyers that if you bring the flyer in, you'll get a percentage off of your first service. And if you've been a loyal customer and you let me practice on you, you'll get discounts forever. This is my 5-year projection. In my original business plan, I said I wanted to double my profits by year 4 of my plan. And I think I will be able to by the math that I broke down. As you can see, year 1, our profit would be about $3,600. And in year 4, it'll be about $36,000. And then in year 4, it'll be about $62,000. I got these by finding national averages of what salon makes and what people sell their natural products for online, and I combined it. I didn't take the highest price, but I also didn't take the lowest price because I think it's a good idea. I didn't want to overestimate myself or underestimate myself, and that's how I came up with these numbers. And this is just kind of like the summary. You have year 1, year 2, year 3. And that's just our net profit after everything is paid for in the salon. And then that's all I got for you. Thank you guys. The handout was just a juice card. Got it?
So part of your services, you talked about consumables or shots or something that you're gonna have the customer ingest.
Yes, they're like little juice drink shots.
Okay,
And that's what the card I handed you, that was like an example of a recipe we would use and the benefits of that recipe.
okay. And have you looked at what it would take to get backing, testing, or certifications or anything if you're gonna provide consumables to customers?
So as far as I understand, you would just need your food handler's card as long as it's like a smaller operation, which that is what it would begin as. And I do have a food handler's card. But other than that, not really. I have tested it on a few people. We're working on testing recipes and seeing what people like.
Hello, my name is Paul Clay.
Nice to meet you.
I have a couple questions for you about the financials.
Okay.
So when you were laying out all the people that would be involved in your business, I think there were 6 people that you had identified yourself, and then 3 other individuals, and then 2 more unknown who they would be.
Perspective,
Yeah.
yes.
Would those people be working full-time?
So
Like 6
usually
people?
with a beauty salon, that you do booth rentals.
Okay.
So they would be kind of working whenever they want. They would have their own schedule.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out 6 staff, booth rental approach, the revenue projections that you had. Would you mind going back to that slide real quick?
Yes.
So I think year 1, you per month, so 200 clients at $50 a shot, $10,000 for that month.
Correct, cause I would charge them booth rental and then I would charge them a percentage of their services.
Okay, so that's not the $10,000 that's being charged to the customer, that's your slice that you're getting, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm curious about the kind of market research you've done in Farmington versus Durango to figure out like, how many people, given the other salons that exist here and there, like how large that market is, and whether or not that would justify another 200 clients per month, 10 a day sort of thing.
I feel like it is a large clientele base between Farmington and Durango. In Durango, obviously, we have like the wealthier clients, and I plan to hopefully get people from both places. And then as a cosmetology student, I know that I already get 2 to 3 clients a day just as a student.
Right.
So that's kind of where I broke down the having a good relationship with your clients. That way they can go and tell people how good you are.
Right.
And then if you're already getting 2 or 3 a day, that multiplies.
Is a $50 booth rental, is that consistent with national norms, Farmington norms, Durango norms?
So the $50 just came from more so what a service would cost. Services usually cost more than that, but I was thinking if I did like the minimum amount, like a manicure is $50 or a set of nails, then I could get like not an over projected amount. So that's off of a service. Booth rentals are like $500 a month, $400 to $500 a month. So that's a whole different thing. This is the breakdown of the service costs.
So if you're renting, I'm sorry, am I allowed to ask questions?
Generally it'd just be the judges.
Okay, sorry, I thought it was like for sure, my bad.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to look at your numbers as well. So that monthly revenue, the 200 clients at $50 for the booth rental, is that what your company makes, or is that what the person operating the booth is making?
That's what the salon would hopefully make altogether, and I would get like $10,000 a month outside of what my people get.
I guess kind of the last kind of point that I have is kind of a follow-up to the point about food products being served.
Yes.
Because local jurisdictions have, different rules with regards to health and safety. And at least here in La Plata County, there are very specific rules for the production of food and the sale of food, where things have to be done in a commercial kitchen. And that's all sorts of like regulatory stuff and cost structures that ramp up. And so I would just encourage you to make sure that whatever locality you're operating in, that you make sure that you figure out, like, all those rules, because that could dramatically sway the cost structure for that part of the business.
Okay, I definitely appreciate that, cause I really only did look into
Sure.
Farmington and what I've done as a
Sure.
small business. Anything else?
Do you know how many other salons in the area that you'd be competing against?
Specifically, no. In Farmington, there's like 12, I believe,
So what sets you out is your specialized services and
using the natural products as opposed to chemicals. Cause it's a big trend right now to use at-home products, but a lot of people don't have time to formulate that by themselves.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Sorry to try to ask a question. He actually asked the one I wanted to ask, though. That's perfect.
Now a 20-minute
We're
break.
a little bit ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we're 1 minute ahead schedule, but
We're 1 minute ahead of schedule.
1 minute ahead of schedule now.
But there's a scheduled 20-minute break, I think. is what
Right,
it was
yeah.
too.
Cool.
If you wanna see
Coffee
the-
break.
Here's the schedule, yeah, we're the San Juan College of
Yeah, yeah,
Second.
yeah.
Do you want to stick around for all these there? No? You don't have, you do? If you do, you can, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Good on there? I'll call Tony and see if she'll come and sweep you up. And I'll give you guys a call back if we're gonna do final.
Happy snowy Saturday.
We're back into winter.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. In the 80s was a little too early in this time of year, so.
I packed a truck.
You're like, it's unacceptable. Awesome.
Here you go.
Thank you very
Our
much.
next presenter is Noise Hub.
How's it going, everybody? I am Joey DiMartino, the founder, operator, and lead engineer of Noise Hub. My company is geared as an artist management company, but more specifically audio engineering that covers Foley, sound design, voiceover, voice acting, and really anything that makes sound. Anything that makes a noise, I like to record it and make it sound great, especially when it gets to prop up an artist, right? So the problems we aim to take on, especially locally, is it's an underserved community. I've been in the Four Corners area for about 10 years, and in that period of time, I've always produced, I've always made music, I've worked with artists that have kind of fallen through the cracks. It's kind of disheartening, especially when you spend, 3-4 hour studio sessions and you see these individuals really not be able to make anything with it because they don't understand that they have outlets. They don't understand how to further their careers. The next part of that is outside of the lack of, or the limitation of studio space, there's also the lack of affordability. So if you do find, and it's not to say there aren't music studios that are local, I know there's actually some amazing studios that are located here in Durango specifically. However, there's a disconnect when you try to find communication and try to find pricing. Noise Hub creates transparency. That is our take. And unfortunately, as a result of having these obstacles for these individuals and these artists, and not specifically musicians, I want to open it up and make it clear that this is for voice actors, marketers, anybody that's needing podcasters, influencers, anybody that needs some sort of media that's put out to pair with their visual or anything of that nature. As a result, we lose talent, we lose money in this area. Most of these individuals are going out to studios in Phoenix, studios in Denver, studios up in LA. It's kind of disheartening to see because, we have a beautiful economy here. We need to kind of keep that money here. And also, going back to the fact that I've watched talent fall through the cracks, there's no guidance. A lot of these kids, and I say kids because quite frankly, it's a lot of the demographic that I've encountered in the Four Corners area. A lot of these individuals, they have great ideas. They have great music, great concepts, but no launching point, no sense of direction, no guidance and no guardianship in that sense. That's where Noise Hub comes in. Our solution, so we launched in 2025, which isn't very accurate in the sense of how long I've been doing this in the scale of things, but as a company, as an LLC, 2025, we've got going, we want to go ahead and address the studio quality of audio production. We want to make an environment where these artists, again, of all walks of life can come in and say, hey, you know what? I feel confident in what I'm doing and I have confidence in myself, thus putting out a quality service or a quality product. And the artist management side of things, I am against cookie cutter anything. I want every individual that I interact with to be a very specific and tailored moment with them. I want it to be something that this artist needs this particular, say, marketing program. This artist needs a different type of imagery and sound that goes with whatever really enhances what they're trying to put out. That's where we come in. Again, it can't be cookie cutter. What works for one does not work for the other. And so this is always going to be an ever-growing thing. We also have original sound packs and licensing. That's something to me that I find unique in this area. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, any music or any movie, any show, anything you're watching, you hear those sounds, you hear those textures that are going on. After a while, they kind of get a little repetitive. A lot of these companies are pulling from standard sound packs. Where we're at in this Four Corners, it's rich in sound. As you know, we can go 10 minutes any direction, catch a river, catch a tree, catch a crowd. These are great enhancements to anybody's project. And community outreach. This is one that's very, very near and dear to me. This is something that Noise Hub prides himself on, is collaboration. This is where the hub aspect comes in. We want to work with schools. We want to work with youth. I want to work with anybody that really wants to make some noise and understand how to get into this industry. And honestly, even if it's just a hobby, come to us, let's collaborate. Maybe you find out you've got something you want to present to the world, and we make that happen. We're locally rooted in the sense that I don't want to outsource any work. So on the artist management side, I want to make sure I bring in an artist that has connections to other local artists such as videographers, cinematographers, photographers, marketers. We want to leave that money here in the Four Corners. I don't want to send it off to Upwork or other freelancing agencies. We want to keep it here and start to build an actual community and a collaboration. So business traction. This is my favorite slide, not so much because it has a whole lot of information sitting up there, but more so because this is actually happening. I'm gonna go back a couple months when I was made privy of this competition. I didn't quite understand where I was wanting to go with this company, but it forced me to start working on a business plan and start really, really digging into it. Well, it's kind of funny, I hate to reference this, but one of my favorite movies is Field of Dreams. If you build it, they'll come, right? I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but if you build it, they will come. Guess what? It's happening. I got the studio launched. Though it is a home studio, I have put time, effort, and energy into creating a place people want to be at. As we speak right now, Noise Hub has already secured a 10-session voiceover contract. Unfortunately, I signed an NDA, so I can't give any information with a client that's based out of Canada. I love that. It's remote. However, anybody that I'm working with, whether it's an engineer helping me record or just, say, a studio tech, that stays right here. That's a local source that I get to help pay somebody else out to help build this company up. And it also gives them a sense of equity. The next step of that is I'm talking about creating community outreach and trying to bring money to the Four Corners. I'm currently in conversation with a predominant music producer down in Albuquerque that has a group of 6 other producers that are wanting to come to Noise Hub specifically, shoot promos and shoot demos and basically experience the Four Corners. They're already talking about renting out Airbnbs. They're talking about coming up to Durango to, do what you do in Durango, enjoy the food, enjoy the scenery, but also in Farmington. We're keeping that in this area, and we're bringing that money up from Albuquerque. This is a direct pipeline. These individuals also happen to be tied in with one of the biggest podcasts that's going on in this region, thus giving us a little more visibility as a company itself and really creating more sense of collaboration. So again, I'm excited. The momentum's there, and it kind of was not unintentional, but it happened a lot faster than I expected. Because we got forced to actually get out of our comfort zone and say, all right, let's do this. Let's see what this really means. And I say we because I am not alone. My wife up there, Jillian, is she's our business side of everything, and also the boss of, our main boss sitting there on her lap. She's got an MBA. So when you look at any of our numbers, these aren't skewed concepts. These are actual, real hard numbers that we run time and time and time again to say, okay, this is a scalable operation. This is something that we can live without having crazy overhead, but also create profit and build it into a bigger deal. My concept with Noise Hub is to create a franchise eventually. I don't want it to be a one hub. I don't want it to be one place. I want to create a space that is much bigger than what you're just looking at today. So the way I'm looking at investing money, luckily, I've been doing this for years. Again, been doing it for years. So over that time, as going from a hobby to a profession, I've been putting in sweat equity and actual equity of my own. Luckily, Noise Hub itself is pretty well to go as it sits. However, I'm looking to spend that money on marketing, which is huge, as we all know, but more specifically, gear and sound treatment. We need quality audio. We want to continue to up the bar. It sounds great right now. It could always be better. There's room for improvement with anything we do, right? But most specifically, it's more space. We want to move into a dedicated studio space that creates a spot for collaborators to come in and not only just have a sound booth and a production board, but I'm going to have a Foley stage. We want to set up an actual a sound stage so I can have artists practice their sets before I send them out on tour. This comes in with a full encompass of artist management, but also create quality product. And with that, again, going back to the sound pack, the money that would go into that is basically I go and bury myself wherever it may be for a couple of weeks on end, and we're farming sounds. We're farming sounds whether it's up in the sticks, along the river, in a populated area. And once those are created, I can create some sort of metadata that's tagged to it so that we become the primary that pops up on any search when people start pulling those sound packs. And then studio readiness, again, I just want to get a space that people are gonna feel like it's their own. I don't want this corporate gatekeeping, where it's this wall and you get stuck. I have this environment that people walk in, they're welcome, they're immediately challenged with, let's be creative, not combative. Let's get this to happen and let's make something. So why Noise Hub and why now? Up here, I say local talent's rising. It's always been here. And by talent, I don't mean just the artist, the musician. Again, cinematographers, videographers, marketers, podcasters, influencers, everybody's needing sound. We're right there for it. I do know of a couple of places that do a bit of engineering, not nearly to the degree that we do. This is what we live and breathe. This is what we want to continue pushing forward, and we really want to turn this into a monster, quite frankly. And then, honestly, with my experience, it kind of helps. Not only do I produce and engineer, I started back a long time ago as a radio DJ. So voice acting is very easy for me. Sometimes, unless they ask for a higher tenor, and that gets a little tough for me. But anyway, with my experience, I started off as a radio DJ, moved into making commercials for the company I worked for, and then that launched into becoming a tour tech for a Grammy-nominated band out of LA. Got to experience some crazy things, but most importantly, I got to learn what it's like to see the inner workings between production, management, and everything in between, whether they're concert goers or just the guy that's there holding the door open. Those connections matter, and understanding how those people interact, it goes a long way. It's a network that it's a lot smaller than I think most people realize. So that's what I bring to the table, as well as our pricing. I'm not trying to get rich off of one project. I'm not trying to create a space for artists to say, you know, I gotta save up my life savings. No, let's come up with a sensible plan at a very fixed price point that is affordable but also lucrative for Noise Hub itself and great for the artist. A big part of what we're doing and the artist management side, I'm not trying to own these artists. I don't want to own their masters, I don't want to own their copyrights, none of that. I'm trying to create a space for these individuals to incorporate themselves moving forward, because it ties back into that sense of community. I don't want to be gatekeeping. That is not what I'm here for. I'm here to show them, hey, you can do it, let's go forward. And then the hope and the belief in my mind is that by creating that, you foster those relationships that long stand the test of time. So I really believe our area is ready for it. I think it's long overdue, and this is what I love. I hope I've addressed anything you guys might be curious about, and I can't wait to hear what questions you might have. Thank you.
Let's make some.
On your sound, so is, are you gonna have like on your website, do you have like different people that you can pick sound? How do you do your sound? Do you have live actors doing it? Are you personally doing it? Are you creating these sounds?
That's a great question. It's actually all the above. So as a service itself, I can be a voice actor, I can be the voice talent. Or there's a group of people that say, hey, I would really love to use my voice to voice for this project. Sweet, let's get you in the booth. I'm gonna help you clean up script. I'm gonna show you how to work dialogue, because not everybody understands mic etiquette and things of that nature. That's what we're here for. I don't wanna be the one that's taken into doing all the work. I wanna create that environment that says, okay, let's do this. So to your point, it is a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything?
Yes, sir.
I know with some of the stuff that we do, we lack sound. Drones don't always capture sound, so having sound is important, being able to do that. I've actually had the privilege of hearing some of your product that you put out, and I think it's fantastic.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That I've got a little sneak peek, that was besides the point down the line, nothing to do with the competition or anything like that, but I personally have heard it. I thought it was really good. And the reason I bring that up is I've gone online and you see a picture and you have a demo that you hit and you're kind of like, okay, I like that guy or gal or whatever, and you go through. And there's so many of them that you can get in the pipeline if you Google, I need a voiceover, so having a local reliable source that you can work. So someone could come into your studio and actually be able to face it versus being solely online. At least for me, I think that's a nice benefit.
No, I appreciate that, and you're hitting something on the head. I don't want the work to get sent elsewhere. We are running into a world where AI is becoming a dominant factor in the market. I can't take that head on, I understand that. But what I can do is start to teach people, hey, let's keep it here, let's be real, let's be the humans that we are, and let's make this happen. And use AI as a tool later on down in your process, in your production process. Don't farm out your sound, don't, try to make it as unique as possible. Because after a while, it's gonna be a reverberation chamber or an echo chamber. You're gonna hear a lot of the same sound packs. I'm sure a lot of people today watch commercials and you hear a lot of the same sound beds behind it or the same voice tone. That's because a lot of this industry is pulling from the same bucket. And that bucket needs to be expanded, in my opinion. And that's what we aim to address, amongst many, many other things.
And I don't know that I heard it, but how are you gonna plan an outreach, or how are you gonna start selling your services, or how are you gonna connect to, potential customers or?
No, thank you, I appreciate that. So right now we do have a website that I can generate in a conversation, as well as all social media platforms. More importantly, I I wanna be that face, so right now it is strictly driven through the website, is if you're asking for how traffic is, it's social media. Now, outreach wise, I'm gonna do it guerrilla style. I like face-to-face, going to venues, meeting people, going to these areas where artists are actually at. It'd be great if I go business to business, but a lot of times businesses aren't trying to hear me pitch to them because a lot of those businesses are employing marketers. So for me, I'm better suited to go into a marketing agency and expressing to what I can do. And just the same when it comes to music. Go to venues, go to local get-togethers, art nights, anything of that nature helps get us into that. It gets us that visual stance in the market. I do want to add a lot of the money that I will be, or not a lot, money will be allocated for marketing and not just digital platforms, because I think that is a very saturated way to market. I think a old school template isn't the worst thing to do. You know, billboards, I know they can be pricey, but they are very effective and everybody sees them. You know, things of that nature. Hopefully I answered your question, sorry if I did not.
So I tend to have a lot of questions about financials and projections and cost structures and
Yes,
all
sir.
that stuff. So you alluded to the financial projections and but can you kind of walk us through kind of major revenue streams that you have and the corresponding cost structures for each?
Yes, absolutely. So main revenue stream is, first and foremost, it's gonna be studio. The studio is gonna be what's gonna make us the money, that's where the equipment sits, and that's honestly where every bit of talent that's coming through, that's where they're gonna be using. With that being said, that typical price point is 50, I think we have it set about $50 an hour per studio time for, you know, per hour. That comes with a price break, once you hit 4 to 8 hours. Our cost there, our overhead cost is actually minimal at the moment, so I wanna say per session, I think it's roughly $25 to $30 per, not per hour a session, but per session, I think I wanna say it's a 4-hour session is what we factored in, somewhere along those lines. And then continuing from there, that's the artist side of the revenue, then there's the artist side of the revenue, where I've created not created a stipulation, the contracts that we have drafted up are doing a $50 retainer, which is significantly cheaper than what you find in any other market, and I understand no company's gonna get rich off of $50. Now hear what I'm gonna say, 10% is where we really look at off their gross income. So it makes me responsible and motivates me to get to work. Let's get this artist out there, let's get them going. So that gets built into the cost structure. We're aiming to have, I believe, 2 to 3 more artists. We had projected to have everything set for 2026. Again, we built it, people started showing up. We're jumping right into it now. So, you know, realistically, what we're looking at is probably having 2 or 3 more artists by the end of the year that are on board, and then building that into a much bigger ordeal. And then the next aspect is beat leasing or sound leasing jingles. That's probably gonna be one of the more consistent incomes in the sense that that's a repetitive charge every, you know, month after month, we get to put this out, whether, even if it's small, if I've got 1,000 beats out there, or not beats, but jingles or sound beds, what have you, in say $20 a month, that's pretty, you know, pretty good turnaround. Unfortunately, not think that's for, what else could I get you? Sorry.
So it's the major revenue stream, so you have the
Oh,
you know,
my-
recording stuff, you have kind of jingles with beats, you know, these little bits. And sound packs, was that?
Yes, sir, sound packs. So sound packs meaning farming, again, every sense of media that any of us consume on a daily basis, you've got those enhancements, those sounds that are sitting there. It's really hard for somebody that's sitting in a studio in LA or New York or anywhere else to go out and get a forest sound or get a tree sound or get any of these things that help enhance. I literally just did, I think a 16-minute audio book for somebody. And I was able to spend probably about 2 hours farming unique sounds that I probably really wouldn't have found anywhere else. And that turned around to be, I think after the time, that was a pro bono job, because it was a community, there's a sound group that's out of Farmington that I was helping with this project. And I think by the time that was said and done, I ended up with 40 new sounds I can use and saving a library that goes into a much bigger storage.
And then you lease out those sound
Yes, sir.
packs
So
like
the
year
sound-
after year or?
So the sound packs themselves will be leased out, or not leased out, those can be sold out outright. They won't be specific licensed though, so we can have a sound pack, they're open for anybody to buy. Where the difference will be on the jingles and any sort of beats and sound beds, those will be leasing. Unless they buy outright, then the cost goes up right there. Another big, and I apologize for missing this, but a really big income for us right now is voice work, voice acting, voiceover, and dialogue cleanup. I'm actually getting ready to do a commercial shoot next week. And what I love about that is I get to do that remotely. That's not gonna be in the studio. I get to take my equipment, go out in the field and collect clean audio and really try to but really help enhance what this project's gonna be putting out.
I have another question since
Yes,
we're on the wall.
Sorry,
So you mentioned you built out your home-based kind of studio.
Yes,
That's
sir.
where you're kind of operating now. And I thought I heard you mention a desire to shift into a dedicated space.
Yes, sir.
Have you started taking a look at what that's going to cost?
Yes, actually, and I do have that built in. I was hoping we had some business plans here, but that is built in with my cost. So my overhead monthly is gonna be around $1,200. The cost for the space that I'm looking at, it'll probably be 12 to 13, I think is what we're looking at. The space itself is gonna be anywhere, depending on the square footage. I'm not trying to be overzealous here. I believe in starting wisely, but with the space I need. And everything I've talked to and toured has gone anywhere from the range of $500 to about $1,000. Easily doable for us if we sit in that scale. Of course, I don't wanna pay $500 for something that's, significantly less or vice versa. Yeah, sorry, hopefully.
And the equipment that goes into that space, is that going to have to scale dramatically beyond what you had at the?
Fortunately not. I don't know if you guys got to see the video. The majority of my equipment in there works perfectly for what we're gonna do when we build out. Yep. That was a big part of the big motivation behind, even prior to this whole plan, was buy something with a purpose, buy something with the expectation of growth, not to cap out and say, you know what, let me just do this for now. I can tell you I've spent a pretty penny making sure I get quality and studio standard equipment.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep, definitely, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. I really did like the video you put together. I thought it was really, really good.
Thank you.
Well done.
You guys have a great day.
You too, thanks, sir.
You need this, that's what you're saying, man. It's not around here. I gotta go take this off. It's killing me.
Are you just gonna go to the car? Or are you just taking it off?
I'm just gonna let it breathe for this last presentation.
Gotta give it good to breathe.
Yeah, I got the privilege of getting to hear his sounds put into actual real world environments and he does a very well job.
No, he's really right too. There's really a big lack of anything in the musical industry here.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the things like that. I kinda wanna talk to him now. I have a lot of interest in music too.
Noise harp is what it's called.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, just let it breathe and dry out a little bit before you get music on.
Coming on in 3 minutes yet, the next one? 11:05?
I saw him, I think he was out in the hallway.
Sweet. That was a good one.
He was well spoken.
Yeah, very articulate. Doesn't look infected or anything, right?
No, it doesn't look infected, but I feel like you should still be cautious. Don't forget to get some air though. So you don't go too like wet.
Right. No, that's the thing, is it starts like get wet.
Presenter is Atrix.
Thank you, Kelvin. Hi, my name is Andres Garcia. We are representing Acre Solutions Group. We are a business growth agency. We are from Colombia. I am a publicist. This is my wife, Helen Narvaez. Okay. My main language is Spanish, so this is a little hard for me, but we are going. Okay. Like Harry says, we are a business growth agency. We have a powerful combination for smart tools and remote talent and automation and digital marketing, who helps entrepreneurs to build companies and the companies in any stage, and we help to grow up for the next steps and in the area. Many business, they start, but they have the lack of the knowledge of the tools, and in the first 6 months, they're gonna be done. Just here in 2023, in the Four Corners area, more than 3,000 new business applications were recorded, and more than 300,000 new application business in the 4 states, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. So all those people, all those business are our potential clients. Our clients, they know they need systems, but they don't have the time, they don't have the knowledge, and they don't have the team, they don't have the support to help them to build, to grow. Yeah, these people are overwhelmed and under-resourced. Sorry. Okay. ITOS combines smart tools. We are powered with AI and with real people. We offer automate. That's a hard word for me. Automatizations, via services and designs and digital marketing. Yeah, we are doing. Go back. We are doing all this, helping the entrepreneurs to build the businesses. Follow the idea. If we help the entrepreneurs to build business, they're gonna be clients in the future. They're gonna need us, because if we help them with ideas, okay, what idea you have? What is your idea? Okay, we can do this, we can do that, and now you have a little company. You start now, and in that way we can help you. We can help you with the marketing, with the digital marketing for you, get new clients for your business. You can automate all this process in your business, and that is another thing we can help them. You need something you need somebody who help, some professional. We can get a professional for a VA, a remote talent, because the VA is not just the guy who answers the phone or just the IT. No, there is a VA for system engineering, accountability of any professional who can work remotely is a VA. Okay. Yeah, I already did this. Okay, we advise the startup founders, small business owners, entrepreneurs, and anyone who has the overwhelming teams. Yeah, any business in any stage, they want to make the next step. We can help in that, because we have a whole system to work for them. Now, We already have, we started 3 months ago. The business is starting, we formed the business in August, but we already start in January. So since January, we have 8 clients who they have projects, and we already did, we already did it. We have every client is I forgot that part. Our lifetime value per client is over $2,400. So we help the clients with I already did that. I already say that, but this is our funnel. This is our okay. We already have the self-verified Google reviews. We have a YouTube channel. Right now, we are focused in the Hispanic people because, like you can see, we speak Spanish. So, but we're not gonna stop there. We know we have tools for translate. We have tools for help any people in any language. We're gonna show you at the end of this presentation how we can help the people in any part of the world. The world is okay. We can help anyone in any part of the world. Yeah, we already have the YouTube channel. We launched a podcast in Spanish, and we are doing right now a funnel. Yeah, this is our marketing strategy. This is our prices. Yeah. We have the digital marketing, the modern subscription, the smaller subscription we have is 3 months. Yeah, so the prices goes to 700 to 7,000 a month. And so the virtual assistant we can do from $10 an hour to, okay, it's like a 35 per hour. And the web development, this is the smaller product we have, is we can help the projects from 700 to make bigger platforms, web platforms. In fact, the first client for IT Solutions Group is IT Solutions Group. We have we are developing right now academy for Hispanic people for help the entrepreneurs to we have the academy for help the people to we teach the people how to they can do the business from zero to a real growth business. Yeah, we are that part is developed right now. We're doing we are seeking for get the certifications. That way we can certificate the people too. Okay. The traditional agencies are slow and expensive. The freelance have a lack of structure. Israel is fast, affordable, and bilingual. And we build a strong relationship and provide tailored services. We combine the people, the process, and attach in one hybrid model. When we start the business, like in November, we hired a digital marketing for a start like a fast and get clients, but they have that like a standard thing, you know. It's not they don't hear us. They don't hear the client, so they know that they for real they don't know what the client needs. So we take that and we want to grow with the client. Okay, we we make a close relationship with the client in each one of our products. Okay, this is our team. All those guys are Hispanic people. Okay. Our remote team gives us reach and speed without high costs. We already did projects in Africa, Europe, and here in America. And this is the people behind iTrace. We not just us two, but we have the system engineering, web developer, graphic designer, the guy who is the recruiter, and is part of the marketing system. We had an influencer with more than 3,000 followers in the Hispanic media. Okay, this is the future for iTrace Solutions Group. Right now, this is where we are. We are doing the funnel and the podcast. It's already launched. We had some interviews. The next week we're gonna put more videos and the other podcasts. And the next month we have a masterclass for Latino business in the San Juan College, in the Small Business Center. The 10th of May, we had a workshop, and we're gonna get more reach there. Everything is there. No, gonna read. Okay, and this is our last product. Yeah. So.
Good morning, judges and audience. Thanks for having me at Hawk Tank. I'm Atrace, representing Atrace Solutions Group, where we empower entrepreneurs and small businesses to grow smarter with AI-driven services and personalized solutions.
This is an agent. He has all the information for Atrace. So he's in an he has an info agent, but he can be the sales agent.
Can you still see me?
A teacher. Anyone can ask something about Atrace to this guy right now. Somebody wants to make some questions?
Are we still connected?
How can you connect my business with future customers?
Atrace Solutions Group can connect your business with future customers through our AI-powered digital marketing campaigns. Here are a few key ways we can help. 1. Lead generation. We utilize advanced techniques to identify and attract potential customers who are interested in your products or services. 2. Social media advertising. Our team can create targeted ads on platforms where your audience spends their time, ensuring your brand reaches the right people. 3. Search engine optimization. SEO. We optimize your online presence to improve visibility on search engines, making it easier for potential customers to find you. 4. Automated sales funnels. We can set up automated processes that nurture leads and guide them through the sales journey, increasing conversion rates. 5. Chatbots and customer interaction. Implementing chatbots on your website can engage visitors in real time, answering their questions and capturing leads efficiently. If you're interested, we can schedule a discovery call to discuss your specific needs and tailor our services to connect you with future customers effectively. Would you like to set up a call?
So, any other question for the guy?
Absolutely. Here are a few questions to help you.
Right now, this one is a demo. We need to control the microphone manually, but we developed an app for that. So when he is speaking, the the microphone is gonna be off. And when he's finished, the microphone is gonna be on again. But right now, because we are working in a website, we have to manually do it. Yeah, so we are ready for questions.
I always have questions, but I think some of the other judges might.
You, go ahead now.
So one of the classic challenges that small businesses have when they have a good idea is that larger organizations with more resources take that idea and run with it and kind of push the small business out. What is it that you're bringing to the market that is hard for larger organizations to duplicate? And what's the value that you have that they can't provide?
I think right now, the value, everybody has have the potential to bring the value to anybody. We developed this, but this is not our idea. This is not something we make, no, this is already new. This is our knowledge technology, but this is already developed. So I bring this because I know this guy can help us, for example, because my English is no prophecy, but he can speak in Chinese and everything. So the way we can help the small businesses is bring our tools for making better strategies, reach the clients in the zone for products, or if they're gonna be bigger in the whole world, we can do that too with the social media, with the funnels, with the strategies and everything. That is what we can bring to the small business.
And so what are some of the obstacles you think that you're gonna encounter trying to get out and connect with customers, connect with people, draw in new customers?
Can you repeat the question, please?
So, I mean, you've got a marketing plan, you've got a website established already. What are some obstacles? What are some setbacks that you could encounter that could maybe not work as you think they will?
Obstacles. I think the main obstacles we have, it was the language. For example, but we developed this for that one. So, and we started in January, and we are like try and error. We make the funnel. We come with the funnel like 3 weeks ago, because we learned that is gonna bring us more clients. That is gonna bring us a better reach for the people for the people who gonna become our clients. So the obstacles, maybe I don't see the obstacles right now, but if there is an obstacles, we know we can develop something for
Addressing it.
yeah, exactly.
Can we look at your price point page again?
Sure.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, kind of speaking from a small, new, growing business that didn't have a lot of background in web development, design, or any of these tools, to be honest. Kind of happened to implement them myself. On price, I know that I'm trying to break this down. So like $700 a month, might be a little bit of a stretch for a small business growing on the digital marketing side of it. how might you reach some of those smaller businesses on that are trying to get going that might benefit the most? So larger companies that might already have some of that revenue and they might be doing good digitally already. I know that $700 a month might be something rough for me to buy just that one service, but I could benefit maybe is the automated systems gonna be like the chatbot that you have on the webpage?
Yeah. Okay, we have some things combined. For example, we can do the digital marketing with the website for the 700 a month.
Okay.
We can combine some things because it's easier for us, and we can also that right now we are working in results because if you grow up, we will grow up. So the 700 in a month, for 3 months, for example, we already did that with a laundry in Europe, in Italy, and the contract is about to expire. But they not have to reach the 3% for the increased sales. So we already give it to that person the accessory for one more month. Yeah. So this is something standard, but for real. Okay. Sorry. Okay. We provide those services. These prices is a media in the market. Yeah, we make the reach and everything. This is not the lower prices. Also, it's not the higher prices. But we just not do the digital marketing. You know, okay, do this or we do this video. We're gonna post the video in Instagram. No, we are with you. You have the personalized and tailored services, you know. So we are doing this together. And okay, this is maybe seems too much, but we bring too much too.
I wouldn't say I think it's too much. I'm just thinking on someone that might not have, you know, the cash flow. I like what you're showcasing. I just see it being kind of hard for maybe somebody that's growing to take advantage of it. So I'm wondering how you might reach those smaller businesses that could benefit from a virtual assistant. I mean, that one seems a little more feasible. It says hourly. Is that who we saw talking, or is that gonna be our automated system? I'm just kind of trying to break down each service you're offering here.
Yeah, no, the virtual assistant is a real person.
Okay.
The virtual assistant is a real person, and it's gonna, like, for example, you need you need I don't want to the assistant, but you need an IT. We can bring a real person who's gonna answer the phone, is gonna give you the information, is gonna help the customer for $10 an hour. It's gonna be in Latin America, in Venezuela or Colombia or in any part. You have we just take a week for find a person, and you have a meeting with 3-5 persons, potentials, employees. So you choose one of the, okay, I like this one. Okay, we make a contract for that for at least 3 months, and that person is going to work for you for those 3 months. That is the virtual assistant. The other thing is the automation system. It was the guide you see already. And that is for when you offer for the common answer questions, you know. This can be a specialist for that. And it's not always going to be like a guy like that. You can do that with a chatbot for make the in WhatsApp or Telegram, you know. I don't know if you familiarize with that. when you acquire a service and you need assistance for that service, and you start with a chat, almost all the time is a chatbot. Yeah, so we offer that too. We have system and we offer solutions.
So what we, oh, go ahead, sorry.
In your business plan, or the written one that I saw, and you had more personnel shown for that team, you had 8 people showing up there. You already have that group of talent already connected with your business?
Yes, we have these people, they are behind us in the company, in Aitres. They are help us in the funnel, in the social media, in the, I forgot the word, in the website and the, caramba. No, en la plataforma, in the platforms. Yeah, those are the people. Maybe you see more people because we put there, for example, the Professor Valdez, because when we start this, we just have the outsourcing team. Even if I am a publicist, we take ITRES in the beginning like a 2 separate business. We are the outsourcing and the digital marketing, yeah. But the outsourcing is not what's growing up, and that part is the part we wanna grow up because it's bring to other people who doesn't have the work or doesn't have the income in Latin America, and the people here, the small business who doesn't have the money to hire a high qualified person here in America, and the business is gonna be destined to work out. So that part, that social part is the main thing in ITRES. Yeah? So the Professor Valdez, he helped us to put those together, and we can become with this. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
That's it, dude. They're gonna judge now, so we're gonna have to get out of their hair.
They'll just call us.
Yep. Well, they won't. They'll give the numbers to Dr. Valdez or someone else.